Jeremy Gallus of Certified Auto Repair knew he wanted to be an automotive technician in high school after picking up a trade class.
I got to learn theory and I got to go touch the vehicles, and that's when it just clicked and it dawned on me, this is what I want to do.
Store manager Robbie Alfizer says there aren't too many stories like Gallus's anymore.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Parts Talk. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Now in today's video, we are revisiting the shortage of mechanics. Now it says, auto repair shop prepares for the worst as the nationwide shortage of auto technician continues. So without further ado, let's get straight into this video.
Back in February, Governor Glenn Youngkin passed the universal license recognition legislation, making it easier for qualified out-of-state applicants in more than 80 occupations to get licensed here in the Commonwealth. Its purpose is to decrease barriers of opportunity and expand the state's workforce. We've learned, though, that one occupation is not on the list, auto mechanics, but they're badly needed too. 8 News reporter Victoria Lucas has the details.
Jeremy Gallus of Certified Auto Repair knew he wanted to be an automotive technician in high school after picking up a trade class.
I got to learn theory and I got to go touch the vehicles, and that's when it just clicked and it dawned on me, this is what I want to do.
Store manager Robbie Alfizer says there aren't too many stories like Gallus's anymore, and it's hurting.
The biggest problem we have is those guys are looking at retirement, and I don't have anybody that they can train for the next generation.
Industry leaders have been warning of a national shortage in automotive techs for more than a decade now. The National Automobile Dealers Association says the industry needs to replace 76,000 techs each year, which leaves an annual shortage of 37,000 workers.
We're going to cut into this video because it's just approximately about 2 minutes long, and I will leave the link in the description box below in case you want to go through everything, but we're going to cut into it because at first we have a recruitment shortage, and Alfizer, that's a gentleman shown first in the interview, is expressing his difficulty in recruiting the younger generation, and this aligns with the broader trend across industries where younger individuals may be less inclined to pursue careers in the traditional trades, including that of automotive repair, and the allure of other sectors such as the technology, service industries, and now content influencing may be more appealing due to the perceived advancement and earning potential. They made mention of 76 new positions. New mechanics are needed to fill the void every single year, and only 39 new mechanics are certified coming out of trade schools, and that's because the government is at fault where the trade skills curriculum was no longer featured in some high schools. Mechanic work is a part of STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and maths, and doing mechanic work is actually STEM itself. Now, when the government introduced all these new curriculum in colleges and tricked the younger generation, in my opinion, to attend universities offering useless degrees while racking up high student loan debt, another factor you can take into consideration. Now, if you watch a documentary called How Money Works on Netflix, you will get a clear understanding of what the student loan scam in North America is all about. Not to mention affirmative action, to me, which is another BS. So instead of focusing on what really matters, our politicians here in the West continue to lead our countries with their feelings, and they implemented gender studies and sexual orientation courses that has no bearing on the society as a whole, and the skills that are needed in the curriculum to build and maintain our infrastructures are ignored. Now, one of the first things she mentioned was that mechanics were not included in the new Commonwealth application, so take that into consideration itself. They are nowhere to be found because obviously mechanics are not respected by our lawmakers. Let's continue.
Alfizer says it's harder to recruit the younger generation. A decrease in earning potential, high turnover in younger techs, and initial unknowns of the industry all play a factor.
They don't know that you have to buy your tools up front, which is a high expense. I mean, we're talking $60,000 in a technician's career worth of tools, and you have to pay for it as you go. That's a big deterrent.
The number of cars coming into the shop has surely increased. A few years ago, these techs were seeing 100 to 150 cars coming in, and now that number has gone up to almost 500, making for longer wait and repair times.
You're going to have to rely on public transportation Or you're going to have to wait 4, 5, 6 months to get your car fixed, depending on parts and when the shop of your choice can get to the car.
Altheiser says that's the worst that can happen. He hopes we can get to a point where parts are sitting on a shelf, ready to go with knowledgeable technicians that can hopefully get the job done right the first time. He says it's all going to take education. Reporting in Henrico County, Victoria Lucas, 8 News.
Yeah, what it's going to take is education, yes, but education starts at the top, because the second thing you have to look into is the financial barriers. Now, the commentary about mechanics needing to buy their own tools up front is a significant point, and this is a financial burden, sometimes exceeding over $60,000, acts as a deterrent for aspiring mechanics. And this high initial investment, coupled with the need to pay for ongoing training, right? The tools as they progress in their career can make a profession financially challenging. And then pushing the potential of mechanics away, this will play a part. So as cars change, so do the tools, and after a while, that tool becomes useless. So you can take the scan tool or diagnostic machine, for instance. They become completely outdated for newer models. And they mentioned the workload, and the discussion on the rising number of cars in repair shops highlights the increased workload for mechanics. A few years ago, handling 100 to 150 cars was the norm, but now it has skyrocketed to almost 500 cars, showing the increase of cars and motor vehicles on today's roads. And this surge in demand not only contributes to the longer repair times, but also the immense pressure on the current mechanics that has decided to stay in the trade. And this will lead to burnout and decreased job satisfaction. So, well, based on my experience, some shops may not be the best of environments to work for, but dealerships, on the other hand, try to make things aesthetically friendly, not so much some of the management. She did mention education, but public perception also plays a part, because there seems to be a lack of awareness amongst the general public about the challenges faced by mechanics, and the public perception of the profession may not be fully grasped because the intricacies such as the financial commitments and the demanding nature of the job. A better understanding and appreciation of the trade could potentially attract more individuals to pursue career as a mechanic. Now, on a side note, have you ever watched a movie where a group of friends or a family member is on a road trip, but their car breaks down? Luckily, the tow truck driver turns up, and it's some dude looking bedraggled with unkempt hair, bad teeth, and pulls them to a lonely, isolated mechanic shop. Then now the mechanic is some dude who looks like the crypt keeper's brother, who I don't know why they depict some mechanics like that, and who is looking to make a quick sale while the people in distress are trying to lowball him. And this is the perception of some mechanics in Hollywood over the years gone by. He's just a help. He's just there to facilitate them, the star of the movie. Now, your vehicle can't be running around as healthy as possible or pass certain safety requirements if a mechanic is not involved. So when you go outside and look at the traffic, do you ever wonder who maintains these vehicles? The bus you take, the airplane you fly on, the subway system, the train, the ships that sail on the ocean and the waters. No, or even that truck driver that take your favorite good to your local store, or that trucker who actually drives that truck to the Amazon warehouse and deliver those goods. Who maintain those trucks?
You're going to have to rely on public transportation, or you're going to have to wait 4, 5, 6 months to get your car fixed, depending on parts and when the shop of your choice can get to the car.
Altheiser says that's the worst that can happen. He hopes we can get to a point where parts are sitting on a shelf, ready to go with knowledgeable technicians that can hopefully get the job done right the first time.
Now, having parts readily available on shelves with knowledgeable technicians underscores the need for industry-wide support. Mechanic associations, automotive companies, and educational institutions need to collaborate to create an environment that supports mechanics in their career growth. And this includes addressing financial barriers, providing ongoing training, and promoting the positive aspects of the profession. But the government has to step in. They removed it. They need to put these curriculums back and have career sessions on the need for certain trades in our wider society. Everyone can't wear a suit. Everyone can't work in an office or walk around in pajamas at home. Recruitment is one hurdle. Saying that young men doesn't want to work with their hands anymore is also another hurdle. We haven't looked at the current pay structure plaguing the industry. It needs an overhaul. An auto mechanic can leave the industry and be paid twice the amount he's earning doing the same repair and maintenance elsewhere, using the very same skill set. So while addressing the shortage of mechanics requires a multifaceted approach that involves not only the automotive industry itself, but also educational institutions, our policymakers, and the public. And by tackling the financial barriers, improving recruitment strategies, and fostering a positive perception of the profession, the industry can work towards attracting and retaining skilled mechanics that it needs. 76,000 mechanics is no easy feat to replace each year. You need people. You need young men. And that's all I have to say for today. Remember, leave your comments below. Remember to grab a copy of my ebook, The Parts Manager Guide. Please smash that like button on your way out. It will only take you 1.5 seconds to do so. Until next time.